Hey there everybody, this is Bars Wolf speaking, coming to you again with another video in my series of warrior tank training videos. Today we're going to be covering tank rotations for both single target and multi-target fights. Let's start out with our single target rotation. And the first ability that I use in this rotation is Commanding Shout. Commanding Shout will generate 20 rage. Without rage you can't hit anything, so generating 20 rage is a good thing. It also increases the stamina of all party and raid members within 45 yards by 585. Now if you're in the party with a druid or a priest where their stamina buffs will supersede the Commanding Shout buff, I recommend using Battle Shout. Battle Shout will increase the strength of the party and raid members rather than the stamina, so you're not wasting it. Alright, let's get going here. Ready? I'm ready. I don't think this dummy's ready. Okay, anyway, enough of the silliness. The first ability that I'm going to use in this video will be Commanding Shout. Then I'm going to use Charge. Why not Taunt, you say? Well, you want to save your Taunt in case your healer or another DPS pulls aggro so that you can gather up any loose mobs that might have run. Now in a single target fight, Taunt and Heroic Throw might be okay. The next ability that I'm going to use is Rend. Now I happen to have this macroed in with my charge so that when I charge, all I have to do when I get in range is then apply Rend. The next ability after Rend will be Thunderclap. Thunderclap is not only going to slow the target's attack speed, but it's also going to slow their movement speed. And later on when we get into AoE fights, you'll also notice that it will spread Rend to any nearby enemies. The next ability I use is Devastate. Now I have Devastate glyphed so that it applies Sunder Armor to the target. So that basically the three stacks that I should have on the target at all time are Rend, Thunderclap, and Sunder Armor. Sunder Armor will stack 3 times. So you continue to spam Devastate until you stack Sunder Armor 3 times. And then you go ahead and use your Shield Slam and your Revenge procs as they pop up. That's your basic single target tanking rotation, maintaining your debuffs on the target and also using your procs when necessary. Now let's say that you're running into a single target fight where you do lose aggro and you want to pull the mob back to you. The easiest and most effective way to do that is going to be to use Taunt. Let's say this mob is running away from me. I taunt the mob and it comes back to me. Now of course you want to try to get some physical damage on that mob as soon as possible, because if you have a high DPS pulling aggro on you, or off of you I should say, then you're going to be basically fighting an uphill battle unless you can get some physical damage on the target immediately. That's your basic tank rotation right there for single target fights. Charge, Rend, Thunderclap, Devastate till you stack Sunder Armor 3 times, rinse and repeat. Alright, let's move over here to these multi-target training dummies where we've got 2 together. I'm gonna beat you up, little dummy. Yes, I am. Alrighty, so here we go. Multi-target. If we're talking about multiple melee targets, then what we're going... Get out of my way, little dwarf. What are you doing? Anyway, if we're talking about multiple target melee targets, your abilities are pretty much going to be the same. You're going to charge, Rend, and then you're going to Thunderclap. What Thunderclap is going to do in a multi-target scenario is it's going to apply Rend to any nearby targets. As you can see, if I target this mob here, which was not my original target, he also has Rend and Thunderclap on him. Then you apply Devastate to stack to 3 on your original target, gather them all up, and there's your aggro. Now let's reset this. Let the stacks drop off real quick. Let's reset this and go as if the left target dummy were a caster and the right target dummy were a melee. The abilities that I'm going to use in this situation, again, are going to be Commanding Shout. Now the biggest difference that you're going to notice when you're fighting a caster is they're not going to run back at you if you don't run up to them. So if you're dealing with a situation where you have 1 caster and 1 melee, or 1 caster and 5 melee, you're going to charge the caster. The melee will run to you, wait for them to get within range, and then apply Thunderclap, which will then apply Rend. Now let's say you have multiple casters. Let's say these are both dirty little mages over here. I don't like mages. They suck. We're going to target the left mage. The ability I'm going to use here is going to be Heroic Throw. What Heroic Throw is, if you have it properly spec'd and glyphed, it's going to put gag order on the target, which will silence the target, forcing them to run to you. So basically, what I will do is I will Heroic Throw one target, target the other, charge in, rend. By then the other mob has said, oh crap, I can't cast anything, so he's going to run to you as well. Thunderclap, and there you have instant aggro. Couple of other abilities that I want to cover are going to be Vigilance. Vigilance you're going to want to pop on any high DPS or your healer, and then also Intervene. Intervene is going to allow you to run at a high speed towards a party or raid member, intercepting that target, the next melee attack against them, and reducing their total threat by 10%. I like to use an Intervene Focus macro. I'll link it in the video below. And that Intervene Focus macro not only will allow me to set focus on my closest target, as you can see there in the middle, and using an alt modifier I can actually deselect the target as well. Okay. It's going to allow me to cast Intervene. Vigilance, another one. Won't be able to do it on the training dummy. But Vigilance is another great ability. Every time they're hit, it refreshes your taunt. So if your healer's taking damage, you can basically have infinite taunts to get the mob off your healer. There it is, your basic tanking rotations and abilities that you need to worry about for warrior tanking. Let's not forget Heroic Leap, though. Heroic Leap's a great one. Allows you to jump into the middle of a group of mobs, just like that. And then cast Thunderclap. Boom! There you go. Now you've got instant aggro on that group of mobs, and you can begin to wail away and apply Rend and Sunder Armor to your heart's content. So there it is, your basic warrior tank rotation, the abilities that you'll use, and why you're going to use them. We'll go further in depth in another video on warrior tanking macros, and also going further in depth on different boss fights. I'll be posting some videos of some different boss fights. If you'd like to, in the comments below, go ahead and let me know which bosses, both raid and regular heroic dungeons, that you'd like to see me tank and give out strats for, and I'd be happy to put them out there. As usual, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be looking forward to talking to you guys later.